Hello, hello. I am Judy Mullins and my business is Vintage to Chic. If you're watching me on YouTube, I hope you'll subscribe and come back and watch our other videos, or stay with us, come back anytime, and we'll be adding more all the time. I'm new to YouTube, just getting this stuff started, just getting serious with it. So I'm learning from my own mistakes, as you can see. I have two Etsy shops, Vintage to Chic .etsy.com, which I sell finished merchandise, the finished pieces, had it for years. And then I have a design shop called Vintage to Chic Designs.etsy.com. I'll post the links down below. And today I'm going to share with you a project that's very simple and little time to create something really beautiful, because I'm starting with a tray that was already gorgeous to begin with. Okay, this is the print I'm using today. This one I printed out, and this is one of my designs. You'll find this one in the shop. I'll put the link down below to it in the shop. Okay, I also have a Facebook page. You can visit me. I'm Vintage to Chic on Facebook, Etsy, on all of them, so you can find it if you put that in. These trains are gorgeous. I've done a number of the train designs with the trains. This one's created in an A3 size, which is 11 by 17. Okay, you can also get it. I sell digital downloads and I sell some printed. So if you visit my shop and you don't see something you want that's already in there to be printed, just message me and I can set that up for you. I have over 600 items in there, and I don't have them all set up to print because I'm not a commercial printer. I'm not a commercial printing business, so I don't print all of them. I couldn't handle that if I did it all. So, but I will print special orders for you if you contact me through Etsy or through my Facebook page or here. It doesn't matter. Just shoot me a message, okay? So today, I was lucky enough to find these gorgeous trays in one of the stores here in town. I live in the Smoky Mountains in Pigeon Forge and Sevierville area. And we have Ross's and Home Goods, Marshall's, all those stores. So I think this one came from Ross's, and this one is very large and nice. It had a mirror in it. This is a mirror in the inside, and I have painted that mirror. It's velvet on the back, and the picture that I've done these before with other prints, and I've painted this edge out here, but this picture just cries out for a gold trim because of the colors that's in it, and the way the things is here. It works super with the gold. So I'm not going to do anything to the edges. All I'm going to do is decoupage this into here and embellish it a little bit, and it'll be finished with a beautiful piece ready for, ready to roll. That's all you need to do. Okay, now I have painted my mirror, and to begin with I use this Joe Sonia's all-purpose sealer. Is what I put down first to seal my mirror in. This is sealer, and it's great. It's put out by Chromium, CHROMA, and it's Joe Sonia is the name on it. She was a decorative artist from some years ago, and they use her name. So I've put a coat of that on it. Then I just used my regular white acrylic and put a coat of white acrylic over it. Let it dry, and it's ready to go. Okay, that seals my mirror. There are other products on the market to seal, but that just happens to be what I use. Now this print fits perfectly inside my, inside my design, my mirror here. So all I need to do is first need to put my glasses on, I think. All I need to do is score around the edges and take off what I'm not going to need. So I have laid it on the width of it. It fits perfectly in the mirror. So I don't have to take anything off the width. I will edge this with some gold beading when I'm done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a stylus, and I'm going to just score this on the ends. Take my stylus and go right around here and make me an indentation in that mirror exactly where I need to, in that print, exactly where I need to cut it. So I'm just pushing back into the mirror a little bit. A little bit of it will go up under the glass because, like I said, this is a glass piece in here, and a little of the print will slide up under that glass. So I'm going to do it one end at a time. Then I'm going to go down on this end and do the same thing. This is just a stylus on the end. And I'm going to score that around so I can easily cut it out. Okay. That makes an indentation in my paper. Okay. Now I'm going to get my scissors over here, and I'm going to raise this up, and I'm just going to go right around where I did that, where I made the indentation in the paper, and I'm going to cut that out. This will make it fit perfectly into my space there. I print on rice paper. When you learn to print your own, when you learn to buy a digital download and you learn to print your own, you open up a whole new world to your creating. Because you can buy print one time, and you can print it over and over. Boy, my nose is itching. You can print it over and over, and you can change the size in your printer. Your printing program allows you to change the size to print it in so many different sizes. So that's a good thing. And there are so many printers on the market now. Printers are not expensive unless you go for a big, you can buy an expensive printer. But if you're just printing for yourself, you can buy you a good inkjet for $200 or so, between $200 and $300. And even a laser you can buy. I print with a laser printer. Now some of these larger prints are printed with an inkjet, but I also, when I print to sell my standard sizes, they're printed with a laser printer. But if you're printing with an inkjet and you're having trouble with your picture bleeding, be sure you don't try to use it the same time you print it and you let it rest for a while. Or you print it and you spray your print with a little bit of cheap hairspray, which I use Rave. If you're as old as me, you know what that is. But you spray it with a little bit of hairspray and let it set for a couple of hours, and then you go in and decoupage with it, and you probably won't have any problem whatsoever with it fading on you or bleeding any. Now see, I've got that cut to fit right in my frame there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decoupage. I use the Mod Podge, and I put it in a small cup, and I add a little bit of water to it. This works for me. This is my go-to, and when something works, I don't feel like I need to change it. So this is what I've used for the years. I've been in the decorative arts business for over 45 years, but I've been added decoupage to it. I was a toll painter for many, many years and holiday stuff. But when I added decoupage to it seriously 4 or 5 years ago, probably about 4 years ago, I started with Mod Podge. And I found, to begin with, that it was too thick to work with. So I started adding some water to it, and I got it to work for me. So that's just my go-to. There's lots of different ones on the market, but this is what works for me, and I buy it by the gallon. And right now I'm using on a gallon that I've been on probably going on 3 years. Now I don't want to just put that glue down on here and try to put the whole thing down at once, because that's what creates your wrinkles. I don't like wrinkles. Sometimes you can't help from getting them, and sometimes you just have to work around them when you get them. So it's not something that you can always prevent. But it doesn't take very much glue to get that print down on your piece. A lot of times the problem is putting down too much, getting it too wet, putting way too much on there than you need. It only takes a little bit to get it down there. As you see, I'm taking a light coat on the end of my brush and just kind of smoothing it out, making sure that I'm going all the way out to the edges. Okay, so I've got about over a third of this covered. Okay, now I'm going to take this hand, because I'm going to work with my left hand, and I've got a piece of saran wrap here. So I'm going to work with my left hand, lay that down very gradually so that I don't get the wrinkles in it, and work my way right across that paper. That way the wrinkles goes right out to the end and you don't have them. See? Now I got off a little bit there, but I'm going to put a trim around that, so that won't really matter. I may have to trim this, take a razor blade and trim my edges a little bit if they don't go up under there good. But just work that down. Okay. Then, because I'm right-handed, I just turn it around completely and I pick up the other end. Pick up the other end and I go back to where I stopped. Go back to the spot I stopped putting glue down. Okay, and I start from there. So I'm going to go in here and add my glue on this end. Your Mod Podge goes under your paper, your glue does, and one coat goes on top of your paper. And that's not, some people call that sealer. To me, you are sealing in the picture. Your final coat, my final coat is always a varnish. I want this piece protected from, so that you're able to dust it or wipe it with a damp cloth. I want it protected with a varnish. So I always varnish. Everything I do gets varnish as the final coat. Sometimes I spray it on, sometimes I brush it on. It's just according to what it is, and I'll show you shortly what I use. Okay, and I'll put, like I said, I'll put the links down below to things that are good for you. And if I've missed something, missed putting the link in there, shoot me a message and ask me what it was, and I'll come right back in and tell you. Okay, you can always contact me through my Facebook page, or you can just contact me through here, through YouTube. Okay, I'm going right around that, working my way, and I'm leaving the end up, so as I go, that gets nice and smooth till I'm pushing it right out to the end and working those wrinkles out to where I hope I don't get wrinkles in it. Okay, and if I do, sometimes, like I said, sometimes you can't help from having a wrinkle. I just try real hard, but sometimes you can't help from doing that, and everything we do is handmade. Nothing is perfect. You know, there's not perfection. If you're not using it, if a person's doing it and not a machine, you are not going to find perfection. Okay, now I'm going to take my palette knife, and over here where the spots where I need to push it up under my mirror, see that mirror, that glass there has a little bit of a space underneath it. So I'm able to work that to my advantage and just take my paper right along that edge, and what little bit of stuff that's left there, I can push right up under that mirror. Okay. This is a way to make a great gift or something for yourself in a good small amount of time, and you've got a finished project. You need a gift for this weekend. You can do this today and have it wrapped and ready to take to wherever you're going this weekend as a beautiful gift. And I love these prints. Now see how pretty that is? And it just fits right in with that gold. Doesn't need any more color. If it was something that I was going to use a different color on, then now I would be able to, and I would be able to paint this gold. You could paint all this. I've done that many times, because when I bought these, I bought a number of them. I bought all that they had, which was 3 or 4, and I'm down, I think I got 1 more left after this one. But I also bought some smaller ones of the same thing, same kind of mirror. So I'm ready now. I'm going to put 1 coat of the glue on top of the print. So I'm going to go back in with my glue, and I'm going to go in here and put a light coat on top of my design. This dries clear. Using a wide, soft brush to put it on with. Okay. Rice paper is very forgiving. It's very much easier to work with than napkins is. With napkins, and you're putting on your top coat, you have to be very careful or you'll tear your napkin. With rice paper, it's not like that. You can print on rice paper, you can print on mulberry paper. I'll show you another one over here in a minute that I printed yesterday, and I printed it on mulberry paper. which I buy mulberry paper from mulberrypaperandmore.com, and it's called Uriah when you go, Uriah, I believe it is, when you go on their web page. But they have it in all different colors and different sizes. But if you're going to put it in your printer, you want a size that fits in your printer, because it's very hard. Now, some of these papers to print in them, you have to cut them to fit your printer. But with the mulberry paper, that's hard to print, hard to cut, to make it exact, so you want to try to buy it. See, now this is one. See, this is mulberry paper. See how the little lines and all that goes through it? You can see it looks like wrinkles anyway. Okay, then I printed this one. This is just a standard size, and I printed this one. This is a little bit different design than this one, so you'd use this one on something smaller. And this one I printed first, and I tried a real thin mulberry paper, and it wrinkled on me. When I printed it through there, it wrinkled on me. But because it's mulberry paper, and see how the lines are in it, I still could use that because the wrinkles wouldn't matter. The paper's already wrinkled anyway, so I could use that. Okay, now I want to finish this, so I'm going to quickly take my dryer and I'm going to dry it. So give me a little bit of minute here. See, I used very little Mod Podge, so that I was able to do that, to dry that in just a couple of minutes there, because I have very little Mod Podge on it. Now the varnish would go on, okay? I'm going to let that dry for just a couple of minutes more before I varnish it, and I'm going to go ahead and put some beading on it, okay? Because that's what I'm going to be putting on there. So I'm going to get me some beading down here, and I'm going to use this rhinestone beading. I buy this from Hobby Lobby, and you'll find it in the beading section. If you catch it on sale, it's not, or you can get some of it can come from, you can also get it on Amazon. This is called the Metal Gallery. If you go into Hobby Lobby, you'll find it in the Metal Gallery, and it's just like rhinestones. Now this one's in gold, and I'm going to take these right around the edge, go all the way around the edge of this. Okay, so I'm going to start right over here, and I may put 2 strands on here, and we'll put one and see how I like it, and then if it doesn't cover enough of that edge to suit me, I'll go right back in and put another one in there. I'm going to have to kind of take it around that little curve that's there. So I'm just checking to see that it, what it looks like on there. Then I'm going to use the B7000. This glue's perfect for beading. So I'm going to use my 7000, and this gives you, glues them down perfect, but it also gives you a little bit of time to move your beads and stuff around. It's not going to glue instantly like hot glue does. I need to make sure I got enough to go around that, and I don't believe I do. So I'm going to have to get me a new roll over here, or I'm going to have to go to this other color. Okay. I don't have enough to go around that one, so we're going to switch over to this one. Otherwise, I've got to get up and go get me another roll out. So I'm just going to switch to this one. It's the same, it's just the silver backing on it instead of the gold. Okay, so I'm going to very lightly put me a strip of glue right down my tray. Right down the edges here, I'm going with just a little bit of a little strip of glue on there. Now I'm going to take my stylus, it's got a rubber tip on the other end, and I'm going to use it to put my beads into there, because if you get that glue on your hands, then it's hard to touch your beads if you got it on your hands. So once I get it started in there, I can take that little rubber tip on the end of my stylus and just move it right in there to the glue, because I want it to go all the way back to the edge of that tray, right to the edge. Okay, so I've got it down that far, and it dries in just a matter of a few minutes. Now I'm going to go right on down my tray with the glue. I'm just putting enough to see it, but I don't want a big gob around through there. I don't want a big amount. Just putting enough to see that it's down there. Now here it's going to curve in just a little bit in that little spot there. Curve it right in, make it fit right in the way your tray is. Okay, working right on down. This is quick, goes real fast. And you can varnish right over top of this. You can varnish over it. I wouldn't try to pour the stuff over the top of it. Wait a minute, I'll get it out in a minute. Resin. I wouldn't put the resin over the beads because it'll probably dull your beads. But you can put you can varnish over top of it. I can spray it or whatever with the varnish. Okay, I need to get it turned to where I'm getting it in there. It's just kind of tedious to handle. Okay. Now, this one is wide enough till I may put a row of pearls around there too. Put this and then put a row of pearls right beside it. Give it that double whammy. Okay, now I'm going right on around here. Take my glue. You can go as long a distance as you want at one time. No problem with it. Okay. This is the slow work, slowest part. Okay, now I'm ready to turn it around so I can get on this end. See, this is little tiny strands, so it's hard for you to see from the camera. I'll check to see if the pearls look good, we'll go ahead and put the pearls on it too, so you can see how they go on, because they're just self-sticking too. Okay. Okay, going right on around with it. I'm having an auction. If you're watching me when today is the end of, we're right at the end of May, and I'm having an auction on the 3rd of June on my Facebook page. So if you're watching me early, come visit the auction. We'll be on Monday night on the 3rd of June. Will be an auction where we'll be auctioning off some beautiful pieces. Lots of smalls and lots of bottles with lights and stuff in them. Okay. Okay, I'm about 2/3 of the way around. Got to be careful your beads don't flip over on you. Kind of slow going, like watching paint dry, isn't it? See, now I've got glue on my stylus there, so I'm going to have to clean that off because it won't let you hold on if you got glue on there. I probably should have done this part off camera since you're watching me and wondering why I'm taking so long. Okay, now need to put me some more glue on there. You can always fast forward. That's a good thing about watching on YouTube. You can fast forward to the parts like this that are boring to watch. You can just hit the fast forward and go right on by to the next step. I like that because I do that too when I'm watching somebody. Okay. Down to the end. You go back and check your beading. Make sure you're pushed in there. Now I can just about see how much I need and go ahead and cut it off. Yeah, I'm going to be coming down that way. Okay, I'm down to about right there. Now I need to cut that beads, and these beads will cut with your scissors, which is really something you shouldn't do because I ruined my scissors cutting beads with them. It's like cutting something with your fabric scissors and what you've used just for fabric, and now you're cutting something else with them and you ruin them. That's what it does to your bead when your scissors when you're cutting beads. Okay, I'm down to the end. Use this end of my scissors this time because I've got glue on my stylus. Just anything that you can kind of push that in there with, because once you get it on your fingers, if you get that glue on your fingers, then it's hard to handle your beads because they want to stick to your fingers. So just something so you can lay it down there and push it in place will work for you. When these are on sale, I think they're like $4 or $5, so when they're on sale, Hobby Lobby has them all the time for half off. If you go to the big gallery, you'll find the rolls of them in silver and gold, and even in just regular chain. Or you can order them on Amazon. The rolls on Amazon might be a little bit larger. I've not bought any of them yet. I live right close to Hobby Lobby. I've got Hobby Lobby, and we live in the Smoky Mountains here in Tennessee, and we've got all the stores are right within 5 minutes of all the stores here. Because I can go to Hobby Lobby or Marshall's or Home Goods or Ross's, all those within 15-20 minutes. I'm only a few miles from Hobby Lobby. So everything I can buy local, I buy. Okay, I've got it in there. Okay, now I think you can see that. That's very hard for you to tell that that's in there. You can see a little bit of the glitter, but I'm also going to show you here if I had wanted to use pearls on it, and I still may. I'm going to show you the pearls too, because they come from Hobby Lobby and they're self-sticking, which makes it amazing to work with them. Let's see what we've got over here, what size I have. I pick these up when I go to Hobby Lobby. I pick them all up, a bunch of them at one time. And these are in the paper studio where you find the scrapbook supplies. And you will find the beads, and they run them ever so often half price. So when they're half price, they're $1.25 a package. They're $2.49. So these are self-sticking. And I'm going to lay some out here and see how they look and if they look good. Now this one's got about 4 sizes, 3 different sizes on the same card, but I will only use one size of them. I'm going to use the largest one here. So I'm going to open that, and I'm going to get me a piece of paper here and wipe the glue off of my fingers. Here's where I laid it here. Put glue on my hands. We're about 30 minutes in. That's not too bad. Don't want to get them too long. Now we'll just lay that down there and see how I'm going to like that. And I think I do. So what I'm going to do, these are just peel and stick, and they have super good glue on them, so I don't have any problem. And these you can resin right over top of. If you want to put your beads in and then pour your resin, you can resin right over top of them. So I'm going to take a strand of them and hold them. Try to turn them to where I'm holding them, and I'm going to lay them right down close to the others. Push them right in there, and they are self-sticking, and they have a super glue on them. I've never had a problem with them coming up. Going right in close to the gold ones, to the other beads. This just gives you a little more embellishment. When you're doing a piece, the more little things you do, the bling and the beads and all that you do, the more dimension and things that you give your piece. Now see, those you can see. Now see the pearls? I'm going to put those all the way around. Now you can go into sections. I can go here. I'm going to cut them apart because that's easier to work with, and I don't want to mess up my little ones. You don't take them off of this plastic strip until you're ready to use them. But you can cut the plastic strip down and just take it off in sections at a time, so you don't have to take the whole thing. Now I'm going to go around a corner here, so I'm just going to take a small strip, cut me off a small strip of beads, so I'm not working with a big long strip to go around this corner. And I'm going to take this small strip here, set it in there, right up against the one I just stopped at. Okay. This allows me to turn the corner and not have to worry about that big long strand of beads there, you know, on the whole, working with the whole thing. I like that, Now I'm back to where I think I can take the rest of the strip, but I'm not going to because I might get down to that corner. So I'm going to cut me another strip, take them off. Had one come off there before I wanted it to. Okay. Now, okay, coming right in here where I stopped with the last one. Got a little bit of one there, it didn't, so I'm going to clip that little bit of glue off there. Not put that on there, there's no bead on it. I used to do a lot of Christmas ornaments, and I used these then. And then when I started doing this stuff, I thought, well, those should work the same. I have some videos in here of painting, hand painting and decorating Christmas ornaments. You can be sure and watch those. It's really neat for doing Christmas ornaments. Okay, now I'm working right on around. I'm down to this corner. When I buy these, go into town, which I'll be in there tomorrow. I'll be at Hobby Lobby tomorrow, so I always look to see what they've got. And yesterday I did a Halloween project and I used purple ones. I went around a tray with purple beads. Okay. Now, I believe I can get pretty well down cut us another section off here. I will varnish this one. The very last thing I do is I will varnish, and I'll use a brush on varnish on this one because I don't want the varnish to get on my gold part. The gold is already finished and I don't want to change it any. So I will brush on my varnish on this one. I'll show you in just a minute what I use. In my final coat of varnish, I will put glitter in my varnish. I think one of my other videos shows you how. One that I just added in the last few days, I think it shows you how that I varnish and use the glitter. I use Jo Sonia's varnish also. I love her products. She has some really good products and I love those. Okay, I'm down to the far end. That pearl just really set it off. Makes it a whole lot of difference in that. Makes it a lot of difference in doing that. Putting that little bit of trim on there. And the bling and the pearls just really fit together really good. So I'm going to cut this strand of pearls off and work on it. I hear my granddaughter hollering at me and I'm on a video. Okay. Going around. No, Morgan. No.
No what?
I'm on a video. See? She's hollering at me. Sorry about that, girls. I don't want to cut it out because it'd take too long to edit it, so. Life happens. I have two granddaughters that live with me. Okay. I think I'm going to have just about the right amount for going around through there. And so I've used 4 strands of the pearls going around this one. If you get them turned, it's hard to get them back in place if you get them turned the wrong direction, which you saw me do there. Because I don't want to touch the glue if I can help it. You have to kind of hold it on the edges so that you're not got your hands in the glue. I'm going to make it just with a couple left there. So I'm going to flip that one off and stick it right back on my paper here. Maybe I'll be able to use it because sometimes once you take them off you can't, you know, once you get the glue down on something you can't take them up and use them again. Okay. Okay, I've got it. That is pretty. See how pretty that is? Gosh, that is really, really pretty. And I will varnish this piece. Now, like I said, when I varnish, I'll leave that and clean it up in a few minutes when I'm done. I will use a brush on varnish, and it is called, it is Jo Sonia's. Let's see if I've got it right here. Yeah, here it is. This is Jo Sonia's gloss varnish, and it's also by Chromium, which you can buy it on. You can buy this on Amazon, or you can get it on dickblick.com, and has her products. But this, I put it in a little container or put it in a bowl. I use a little plastic container, or I just use a styrofoam bowl and put me some varnish out in that bowl, and then I'll put coats on. It takes about you'll put one coat on and you'll let that dry about 15-20 minutes, or you'll dry it with your dryer, and then you put another coat on. So I always put 3 or 4 coats to, you know, to finish it out. I put 3 or 4 coats of varnish on it. And in the final coat of varnish, when I put this out, put my varnish in here for the final coat, I put glitter in my varnish, and I use this. This is called iridescent glitter. This one happens to be from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Go Create. And I just shake it into my right into my varnish, and then you want to use a nice soft brush. I keep a brush that's just for varnish. I use it, then I go to the sink and I clean it good with dish soap and water and keep my varnish, keep my varnish brush just to use it with that. But I will varnish this. It will shine real pretty. I'm not going to put anything on the gold. The gold is finished. Not going to varnish it. But I will put at least 3 or 4 coats of varnish on this one by the time I get it done. I'll varnish it, varnish it, varnish it, and then the final coat, about the 4th coat, will have the glitter and the varnish. Okay, girls, I think I'm finished with this one for today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And like I said, this is a quick project. If you find you some trays that are this nice, and this one wasn't only, I think I only paid $12, $14 for this one. So you've got a beautiful tray that you don't have a lot of money in. Everything you've spent on it has been like less than $25, and you've got a $150 tray. It's a finished piece of $150 worth for about less than $25. Okay, I'm out of here. We're not even an hour today. Catch you later. Be sure and come back and watch me for the next one.